Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. When Aaron Dean applied to be a police officer, he failed his psychological exam.
The testimony this morning starting with a psychologist who talked to Dean when he was applying for a job to be a Fort Worth police officer and did not think he was fit for that job.
The results had suggested that he had a narcissistic personality style that would inhibit his judgment, decision-making, interpersonal abilities, and would make him more likely to engage in behaviors that could put himself and others at risk.
Despite this finding, the Fort Worth Police Department hired Aaron Dean, but it wasn't until later into his career that they would realize their mistake. On October 12th of 2019, a non-emergency call was made from a man who was concerned about his neighbor.
Fort Worth Police Operator 873 with the address.
Calling about my neighbor. The front door has been open since 10 o'clock. I haven't seen anybody moving around. There's nothing wrong with happening.
Officer Dean and his partner were the first to respond, and upon their arrival, found a house with its lights on and front door open. Neither officer identified themselves or tried to make contact with anyone inside the residence. Instead, Officer Aaron Dean creeped around to the backside of the home, looking through windows along the way to see what he could find. Court documents state that the owner of the house heard someone creeping outside, grabbed a weapon, and opened her blinds.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
The single shot fired by Dean killed Miss Jefferson. Officer Aaron Dean resigned from the Fort Worth Police Department almost immediately, and just 2 days later, he was arrested for the murder of Miss Jefferson. Over 3 years later, Aaron Dean's trial began. During the trial, his personnel file was reviewed and showed that one of his supervisors wrote that he would be so engrossed with what he is doing that he gets tunnel vision and would not hear what's being instructed. And during the interview process, he was asked the following question.
Will you be able to kill somebody if you have to?
No problem.
It was also noted that in 2004 he was cited by the Arlington Police Department for touching a woman without her consent and asking her not to report it to the police. But again, the Fort Worth Police Department still hired him. And now, at his trial, his own partner testified against him.
Did you ever see a Tatiana's gun?
No, ma'am. I saw her face.
Is that burned in your memory?
Yes, ma'am.
She also stated that Dean never called out that there was a gun.
Did you ever hear the defendant say gun?
No, ma'am.
At any point from the time that you're in the backyard and you go to the side, all the way to the front, does the defendant tell you gun?
That's my
She
knowledge.
had a gun. What about as you guys run inside that house? Does he ever warn you that she has a gun?
Not that I can remember.
In a rare move, Dean took the stand, and the prosecutor utterly destroys him.
What grade would you give yourself? A to F? I'd like to see how you... Oh, go ahead, tell us. I'm talking before you pulled the trigger. That minute and 17 seconds before you pulled the trigger. A to F.
Probably a B.
Oh, B. High passing grade. The general orders say if you cannot cover all the exits, you need to call for backup. That's what they say, correct?
No, that verbiage is not in there.
Does it say that you have to secure all exits?
Yes.
And what happens if you can't secure all exits?
Then we'll call for backup.
Okay, so we'll use your verbiage. If you can't secure all exits, then we'll call for backup. Is that a better question?
Yes.
But you didn't secure all the exits here, did you?
No.
Matter of fact, the two biggest exits that there are, the two front doors, are just wide open for anyone to walk in and out of, correct?
Yes.
While you're in this backyard.
Yes.
That wasn't safe, was it?
That was not the best move, no.
And that's not good police work, is it?
No.
Do you want to take your grade down some? Are you going to answer the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was rhetorical.
This wasn't good police work at that second door, was it?
I'm trying to think what I could have done better. I'm not coming up with anything.
So the second door, you're giving yourself an A+. Is that what kind of raises your average there? You didn't tell Officer Darch there was a gun in that house, did you?
Not until we got inside, no.
Did you tell her when you got to the fatal funnel of the cars?
No.
Did you tell her when you got to the fatal funnel of that side door that was open where the bad guys could be?
No.
Did you tell her when you got to the fatal funnel of the front door?
No.
Did you have any trouble opening that front door?
No.
You just went right on in, didn't you?
Yes.
Hey, when you were in the back shooting at Tatiana Jefferson, do you know how many people could have run out the front door?
No.
I mean, did you have backup there?
No.
Was that front secure?
No.
All the bad people in that house could have just went right out that front door, couldn't they?
Yes.
Would you have any way of knowing if they would have went out that front door?
No.
Is that more good police work?
No.
It's more bad police work, isn't it?
It's not the best.
It's more bad police work, isn't it?
Yes.
When you got in the house, did you tell Darch there was a gun then?
When I found it, yes.
Oh, when you found it. Now I'm talking about in the living room after you opened the fatal funnel of the front door. Did you tell her there was a gun in that house?
No.
You got another fellow officer from the Fort Worth Police Department entering a home which you had determined to be a burglary in progress with possible armed assailants, and you didn't think to tell your partner, hey, there's a gun inside?
No.
You didn't think to tell her, hey, I saw somebody with a gun?
No.
Do you not like Officer Darch?
I like her just fine.
But you didn't seem too concerned for her safety. If in your head is what's going on, and there's this burglary in progress, and bad guys are there with guns, you let your partner walk into that house without giving her any heads up whatsoever that the bad guy might have a gun. Is that really what you did?
We were talking on the radio and yelling commands.
Did you tell her there was a gun?
I did not.
Is that good police work?
No.
That's more bad police work, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it good for an officer to clear a room by themselves?
No.
When you have two officers, how many officers does it take to clear each room?
2 is best.
2's best. You had 2 there, didn't you?
Yes.
But y'all didn't use 2 officers to clear each room, did you?
No.
I mean, in your mind, there's still bad guys with guns. You just let Darch possibly walk into a bedroom where there could be a bad guy with a gun, right?
Yes.
And you gave her no heads up that you'd seen a gun inside.
No.
Is that good police work?
No.
Was that good work for your partner? Do you think Officer Darch appreciates that now?
Probably not.
Would you ever want a fellow Fort Worth officer to let you walk into a house without telling you they'd seen somebody with a gun inside?
No.
But that's what you did on October 12th, right?
Yes.
So, I know you're crying right now, But on October 12, 2019, you weren't crying when you decided not to administer CPR to Tatiana Jefferson, were you?
I didn't decide not to.
But you weren't, were you?
I was about to when the other officers ran in.
Oh, you were about to start crying?
About to start CPR.
Oh, about to start CPR. But you didn't do it, did you?
No.
If you had announced yourself, Tatiana Jefferson would still be alive, correct?
I don't know.
You still might have shot her anyway?
It would have depended on if she came out the front with a gun.
Are you telling this jury there might have been a situation where you still might have shot her anyway? Do you still believe you've done a B-level job so far?
I think I did a fine job.
You think you did a fine job. Okay.
In the end, the jury convicted Aaron Dean of manslaughter.
Dean showed no emotion when the verdict was read, and then he was taken into custody, as you reported.
Shortly after the verdict was read, he was sentenced to nearly 12 years in jail.
Former Texas police officer who killed Tatiana Jefferson in 2019 has been sentenced to nearly 12 years in prison.
The family of Tatiana Jefferson will now pursue federal charges against Dean and will be pushing forward for additional accountability with a civil suit. I want to make it clear that I am very well aware of what happened to Manuel Mata.
Is there a Mr. Mata in the courtroom? You stand right there at the rail for me, please, sir. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony given this cause to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I don't know what this is about.
Hey, Judge, may we approach?
I don't understand what's going on.
I'm swearing you in as a witness. So,
Under what authority, sir?
all right, jury, go to the jury room. Everyone may be seated. Mr. Mata?
Yes.
Is your name Manuel Mata?
Yes, sir.
Your date of birth is 7/8 of 1980?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have issued you an oath to testify truthfully. Are you going to take that oath?
I have a question, sir.
No. Are you going to take that oath?
No.
All right. You are on bond on some cases, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Those bonds are being declared insufficient, Sheriff.
I will continue to investigate it and hopefully in the future report everything I can find to you. Thanks for watching. If you have a video, use the submit link in the description or pinned comment. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe and hit the bell for future content, and check out our other channels, Lady LackLuster and The Odd Side. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment about what you think of this interaction. It's the easiest way for you to help expose corruption and misconduct. Merchandise is available using the links below. Join the LackLuster family for just $1 if you'd like to further support the channel. Get a Lack logo next to your name, custom emotes, and early access to videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All links are down below.